Hey everyone, this is Jackie with ABC Creations, and I was asked on my Etsy page by a customer purchasing one of my snap tabs, how would you go about putting on either a snap tab or a grommet or a rivet? So I'm going to show you what I use / what I do, and we'll go from there. So for the tools that I grabbed today for the snap tab version, which are these guys right here, I use an owl. You can get this with the cam snaps if you buy it from camsnaps.com. You can get the kit. It comes with the owl, and then it comes with this press. I actually had the base made for me, and as you can see on the bottom here, this was made by Gigi Designs in Wood on Etsy, and this is for a narrow front Babyville. And you can see the little dots on the bottom help it from skidding on the table, hold it down. And I'm actually using my Drits, but I do have a cam snap press that came with my owl. Those are what you're going to need, as well as some cam snaps. And I'll show you these. I just have multicolors, but these are your cam snaps. There are 4 pieces total. You will need 2 of the prongs. I prefer, this one is actually a shorter prong, but I prefer the long prongs for my thicker vinyls. You're going to need 2 of these, and then you would need what I like to call a male and a female. If I can flip this one over, I'm one-handed, so there we go. You have your male, which is this guy over here, he sticks out, and the female, which is an innie. So you will need all 4 of those in whatever color you choose, and then you're also going to need a O-ring, a D-ring, or a lobster clasp to put on at the end. These I get on Etsy wholesale. You can get a bag of about 500 or more for relatively cheap. And then for the grommet, I'm going to show you on just a plain piece of vinyl. This is a piece of the white glitter that I got from Hudson Textiles from Caitlin. And as you can see, it's gorgeous. I love the little silver flecks in there. So I'm going to show you with this how I do the rivets. And for that, I actually use the We Are Memory Keepers Crop-a-dile. And this key tool is awesome. It punches holes. It does all kinds of fun stuff. So I use these. Some people use an actual rivet punch, grommet punch for leather working tools. And I have that. I just don't prefer to use it. And then what you need for that one is some rivets or grommets, and I got these guys over here. All of these I bought them on I want to say Amazon, if I remember correctly. I prefer to use these the most and these the most. This is actually an end cap one where it's not open, so this is more of a finishing one. I don't know if you could see that. There we go. So this is more of a finishing one. Once you punch it, there's no hole. So it's just for fancy show for the front. So so you'll need 1 of these only with your O, D-ring, or lobster clasp. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down now and try to show you how. I'll just pick any color. We'll do a silver. So I'm going to grab that out and just put it here with this one. And we'll do orange for the pride. So I've got a female and a prong and another prong, and I'm going to need a male. If I can find one here, sorry. Nope, that's another female. All right, so there. I have a male, a female, and 2 prongs. So now I'm going to set this down, and we'll go ahead and get started on showing you what the next steps are on how I put these on now. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is, if we're doing the snap tab, you're going to want to take your owl and you're going to want to just simply go right in the center. This is why I have these center stitch markings here on my designs to kind of guide you. So you're going to go right in the center and you're just going to push through both layers. I don't know if you can see that. And watch your fingers in the back. You don't want to poke yourself. And you're going to want to do the same thing for the top one. Find the center, push it through. Again, all the way through both layers. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take one of the prongs, which is this one, and you're going to push it through the front hole, just like that, so that the back is sticking out. And what I like to do is just take my fingernails and kind of push the vinyl down just a little bit. I apologize for the refocusing here. Push down just a little bit, and then I like to take for this bottom one, I use the male. It's just a preference. You can use whichever you like. You can use the female or the male. Just make sure you have one of each. And then you are going to set this in your press. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to line up this flat piece right here with the flat piece down here and the black. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of dimpled in a little bit to fit that. And the top actually has, let's see if you can see it in there. So you see that little hole in the center. So when you press down, this is actually going to shoot a metal piece into the middle here of that prong and smash it down. So you always want it, you know, flat side to flat side. And you just stick it in here like this, just so it's nice and flush. See how I can't really move it out once it's locked in? You're going to grab the top of your press and just press down lightly. For the shorter ones, I do tend to press a little harder to make sure that it really flattens it. And I don't know if you could see inside in the middle there how it nicely flattened. And now you're going to repeat again with the top one with the female side. So we're going to take the prong. Again, here's the prong. And we're going to just put it in the top. And then we are going to put on the female. We're going to set it into the press. Again, it's locked in. And we're going to press. And that's pretty much it now. So these two are on. They are secure. You can see how it's flattened here, flattened there. You can test it out a couple of times by closing it, locking it in, and then pull it open. If you've pressed and applied enough pressure, the two ends will not pop off. If they do pop off, one of two things is happening. One, your vinyl is too thick. You can see the thickness of mine is pretty thick. Or two, you're not applying enough pressure. And in that case, that's when I use, like I said, that's why I got this press base, because I can actually push harder onto my desk with it without having to squeeze using my wrists and hurting myself. And then basically you grab your O-ring, D-ring, or lobster clasp, feed it through, and just clip this right around it. And as you can see, my designs leave enough room to fit a little bit of a larger ring. And that's it for applying snaps. So now to move on to the rivet, basically for this one, like I said, we use the Babyville, or the We Are Memory Keepers Crop-a-dile is what I call it. And typically for mine, I use the, what side is this? The 3/16 sides. So if you look on a Crop-a-dile, it actually has sizes right here in black, 3/16, and then this side is a 1/8. So what it does is it punches, oh, let me get in the camera view here, a 3/16 size hole. So I'm going to place whatever this is in here. For example, if it were the keychain and it had that circle, you would place this right dead center in the circle, and you're just going to squeeze the handles, and it's going to punch a hole right in there for you. I don't know if you can see that. This is where you will place your grommet or your rivet, whichever you like to call it. You just set it right in there, and see I said 3/16. So my rivets are probably about the same size, if not just a little bit smaller. And then at the top here, you can see I've got a female and a male here too as well. And this one is raised while this one is dimpled out. And you're going to want the finished side to be on the actual hook up here. So it will actually go into that, the male. And then you're going to want the unfinished side down towards that raised nub. And you're just going to squeeze just like this and squeeze. And this is your finished rivet. So here's the front and here's the back. And now some are much nicer than others. The harder you squeeze, the more it goes into the fabric. But that's really it. And you take your D-ring, O-ring, or lobster clasp and you feed it through. That's it. I hope that helped. Thanks.